Start the stream.
All right.
Yeah.
Bonesaw is ready.
Hacksaw Jim Duncan.
Well, this is a great start.
Yeah. So
What's up, guys?
how's
We
it going?
on. We're buff. We're buff with the stuff.
You better be ready to wrestle.
You better be ready to wrestle. So, getting back on track, we got our schedule back down here, and here we are, Wednesday night.
For this week.
For this week, yeah. So far, so good.
Next couple weeks I'm gonna be out of town.
Which means he better take a plane or two to fly. Damn it. Oh, it sits.
It sits. It sits
It
anyway.
sits.
Yeah, it sits
It
anyway.
does.
So he built something.
Yeah, but it's not that bad. I mean, because well, okay, it's real thick in the nose, so it probably is gonna be. I don't know if I could just. I don't know if I could just fix this somehow, or this is just really gonna stay. But I mean, I probably.
I can't take it. It flies.
It does fly. It definitely does fly. Oh, we're gonna start out crazy.
Oh, that's the name of the stream.
Chevy's gonna have words. It's made out of some of our what we call the Dodge paper kind of. It's really laminate plastic, so it's heavy duty cardstock, and there's a lot of folds going on, and yeah, it's probably it's probably a flight or something like that, but we'll see.
We'll see if it doesn't fly on the next episode.
On the next episode. What about yours? Did yours fly?
Which one? You talking about that hand-me-down?
Yeah.
The hand-me-down works.
Oh yeah, I bet it does. Yeah, that thing's rocking.
Yeah, you know why it works? You built it. I didn't build it.
Okay, but what about Raptor?
Speaking of that, I posted up that video today. Finally, almost a month later. Actually, it was a month later. It was actually a little over a month.
Well, we'll say testing was concluded at that level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I will say that number 2 flew much better than number 1. I mean, it flew pretty well. Nothing
Wasn't bad.
It wasn't like over the top spectacular, but it was definitely a good short range plane.
Well, that's cool. I mean, right? Is that what you were looking for, or?
Of course not.
Oh.
But I was expecting it. I wasn't expecting it to fly at all. So.
Anything was going to be good.
Right.
Okay. Well, how many examples did you take out there? I didn't look at the video yet, so. I know you said you just finished putting it up, right? Basically, before this.
Seriously, there's no doubt about it. The day he got the chair
So,
was great. He was
say what?
consciousness. He first.
What are you talking about?
No, that was amusing.
Well,
Anyway.
yeah, I had it muted for everybody else, but
I know. Sorry, it was amusing. I should have been speaking, but he was like, yeah, it was kind of funny. Anywho,
yeah,
so
I forgot that you could hear it, but they can't.
so how many examples did you take out there?
Just the two.
Just the two?
Yeah, just the two.
And they was good? Well, I mean, they both did.
No,
You said one was better than the other, but they
number one was bad.
Oh,
It wasn't. Yeah, it was bad. There was no good
Okay.
about it. I didn't get a single flight that was good out of it. But they were built slightly different, so I didn't expect them to fly the same.
Okay. Fair enough.
And if we pull them out, I got them right here. Oh, we can stare at that for a minute.
Well, that looks spectacular.
Hi, buddy.
So if you look at that one compared to
Yeah, bud.
Trying to fix this thing, but
our
this is not what our stay is going to be.
Give that help. Yeah.
okay, so if
But
you look at the
it's
back
almost finished.
Got a test.
of each of these,
Okay, so
Yeah.
just make
Dad,
sure
damn it,
hang on in there.
get out of the way. So if you look at that one and you look at this one,
Yeah.
let's try to.
That one does look like it's got a broader, like, yeah, it does. It does look like it's got a broader beaver tail.
Yep. And this is number 1.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, okay,
So if you
okay.
look at it like this, these are cut higher than these. If you look at them,
Right. I can definitely see that.
you can kind of see that if you. I mean, I don't really know how to how to really measure them.
I see what you mean. Yeah. Yeah. Well, at least the top is flat except for those. So either way, those are obviously bigger on that one than the other one.
Right, because if you look at the distance between, you know, even here to here, compared to there, from here to here, you can see that that's.
So they're bigger fins and they're further away from the center line.
Yeah.
Okay. But is that the one? That's the one that flew better then?
This is the one that flew better.
Okay. So perhaps again the bigger the strikes. I wonder. See, the funny thing when you're dealing with those is you're dealing with two parts. You're dealing with having fins that are bigger, but you're also dealing with having holes in the wings themselves that are bigger. So it's a little bit harder to say.
Right, but just based on the actual, flight itself, I mean it flew. I mean, this one tended to just kind of not. It's almost like it wasn't stable enough, and it wanted to like corkscrew and flip and all kinds of stuff. So it.
Oh,
I
so
mean,
they need
I could make these taller and leave them where they are, like
right.
Just leave it, just make them, cut them a little bit more, make them taller, and see if that helps.
Huh.
I could actually probably cut it almost all the way to the line, and refold this and make this, like that almost.
Sit down.
And so it's
Okay.
probably,
Right.
It goes here and folds up. I could probably do that and see if that works, but
That's cool. I mean, there's a lot of exploration that could happen in something like that. Again, you could make, simply making it bigger, but you give me an interesting idea with those that I've never tried on a plane with strakes back there before.
well, not only that, but I mean, there's some things that I need to do with this wing here. Like, I don't know what to do with this. Like, I'm tempted to fold this down and see if that helps.
Probably, but I mean, I think the reason that one was altogether more stable is just because you have bigger fins back there. So, I mean, since that's the only thing providing any lateral stability, I imagine that the bigger you make them, the better it is until they get too large. You know what I mean? You'd have to experiment with more to see
Right.
just how big you can go before it gets, before your opening gets too large in the wings
Right.
versus how much you can actually give them.
Basically, it would end up being no wing.
Well,
And then you try to figure out what's going on from there.
here's the kicker, though. There's one thing you could do. How heavy is the nose?
It's really not that bad.
So, well, I mean, like, is it heavy enough to withstand, like, if you added weight onto the tail?
Probably not.
Oh, well, that's crap. Because
I mean,
I was just thinking. I mean,
I could probably close this with a piece of tape, and that wouldn't hinder it.
right.
But I don't know how much this is providing stability on the plane.
I was thinking more in terms of if you made the fins progressively bigger and bigger, you may have to tape wing area back on to cover the holes. So
Oh yeah,
perhaps,
you're saying if I got rid of all of this completely back
yeah,
here,
yeah.
and then, I mean, I
It's not something
probably
you want to.
could.
It's not something you want to do like with the next model, but like somewhere down the line, if you keep it going, like number 6 or number 7, yeah, you may want to make them so big, and then the wing openings tend to be so large that you may want to think about covering them up. But then again, you'll have to make sure the plane can handle the weight,
Yeah, yeah.
or else it's just going to tumble over and over, and then it'll end up flying. Exactly. So you can't
Right.
just. That's just too easy.
Is it?
Exactly. So,
Is it?
but
Is it?
it gives me a good. What the heck? It gives me an interesting idea. Again, though, with like a couple things I would like to try with that I hadn't tried before on something that has those. I wonder if, like, I have this one right here. I wonder if, like, you built it the same way. You built it like it's a single piece of paper in the back. We can see that, right?
Right.
So you're only going to have your single strakes. But on a plane, any plane that you have that has, like I have, like a double sheet in the back, you could foreseeably have a set up and a set down. Not only that, but you can have them alternating. I mean, while it's pretty easy to see them manifest like directly above and below each other, you could stagger one, like one's further out while the other one's further in. The further out one's on the bottom while the in one's on top. Just to see what that would do.
You're killing me.
I've done that on a
You're
phase
killing me.
before.
Now I gotta potentially make this into a double.
It's a possibility. And again, if you don't have to double it, but if you are able to add, like I said, if you're able to tape more wings on there to cover the holes, that's where you could be. You could be in that position.
Man, I try not to turn this Wednesday night into a build session.
Dude, you already should, like I said, you got 2 there, but you already should build like 5 more, and they should be progressively bigger and bigger strakes and see what happens.
Well, yes.
Or you should just try different shapes. I mean, like yours are pretty straight, right? They're straight towards the front of the plane.
Yes.
What if they were like this one here, where they're kind of angled in?
Don't mess with me.
Or angled out even.
Don't.
I mean,
What did you do? And when did you make that?
This thing's been around a while. This one was here. You guys watched us build this. I built this like not too long ago. This was a month back, maybe a couple shows back. But yeah, this is the same thing. I mean, I've done strakes before, but this one, yeah, like I said, this one's aimed quite nicely as far as out goes, right? So
You are nuts. What? No, that looks like a Phantom Lightning with some cuts in it.
it does kind of, but it's extremely. I don't know if you can tell. There's a lot of folds going on in the nose, so it's pretty heavy.
Yeah, no, that definitely isn't mine.
Yeah, it's a little dart, and it hasn't even been taped, so it's not like it's not ready to fly yet. But it did flip. I'll tell you one thing: the way it is right now, it flies pretty good. It's not taped. It's not anything, but it flies pretty good.
And that's your favorite. That's your favorite right there. If you don't have to tape them.
It's true, yeah. The freedom that planes get from non-taping, yeah. I mean, oof, it's so cool. I don't know if it's something I'd highly recommend for somebody, especially that tapes a bunch of stuff together. But what have you got in there? Is that Firecat?
Nope.
Oh no, it's not Firecat. I don't recognize that.
That's because I don't either.
Oh, okay. Oh, you just found it while you were flying and like, oh, this looks like a cool idea. I think I'll steal it.
No, I like that one.
Oh, okay.
But the thing is, to organize this one.
Yeah, that looks a little bit more familiar. Isn't that with the newer Vortex?
No.
No? What is that?
You can't tell?
Is that a T-Bolt?
Yeah, it is.
It looks a little different than a T-Bolt.
That's because I put all the folds inside.
Oh, okay. That's why. All right.
Or I
So
should
you
say, I
threw
put
me
them
with
all,
that.
put them all here, like the original,
Ah.
like original V1 right here.
So you built it again. Ah.
Yeah, I don't have the number for it.
Well,
I gotta go look.
you did you do need your interceptors back in case of anything.
Well,
So
I have a few of those.
you do have a few of those?
Yeah, I have a few of them. So
Oh.
I just don't have them numbered. That's why they're not on the sheet.
Oh, okay. I was scared because you kept showing like, I mean, your sheet just shows a whole bunch of red and that's it. So I didn't know.
Yeah, I just gotta put them on the sheet.
So anyhow, but you test flew that. Did you test flew these? Did you get a chance
No,
to
I
take these
didn't.
out?
I haven't been out. No, see, so this was last month, but I just built this a couple days ago.
Ah.
So this one, I've got to get out there and get it flued. I got to get it flued.
I need to get it out there during the day so I can see how it's, not affected by the amount of humidity I was getting when these were out there. I mean, they were doing pretty good. Don't get me wrong, but I think they could do a lot better. And the potential for expansion on these is just so great.
I just don't know what to do.
Well, again, there's not much you need to at first. I mean, look at it. It's already built quite nicely. And you could go two routes with it. You could try to develop it into a glider, the way it's starting, or you could just staple the ever-beloved Jesus out of the nose of it and turn it into some kind of interceptor. Because it could probably handle that.
Probably could, but I don't want either one of those. Well, I mean, I kind of do. I want like a medium range and my long range strike.
Well, that's what this one will do right now, though it is. That's what it was doing for me, so... I mean, this might work out great.
But it's not got... See, here's my dilemma.
Okay.
Here's my problem.
Your problem.
That I've been spoiled by your flights.
Yeah, I know.
So, your
I realize a lot of
your long range flights. Granted, it's not all the time, but you have quite a few with Phase.
Yeah.
Like Phase will get out there.
Yeah.
And the
of course.
problem is I'm spoiled by that. So I expect my longest range plane to do that. And I'm not there.
Even Wyvern gets out there. Hell, you see Nova gets out there from time to time.
Right. Which reminds me of this.
Yes, I know. I know you like Nova. I mean, everybody likes Phase, but you like Nova because of the looks too, which is why I was working on this thing, trying to get one like that out there. Because I like the design too. I love winglets, so having this on there is just awesome.
That's just insane.
I just got to figure out a way to. Well, here's the thing. You were talking about having a medium range striker or something like that. So, if you had one this size, would you want it to be a? Well, I don't know what this could be because Spider's doing your fighter. What about a light transport? It would definitely work as a light transport.
Yeah, but if that one can compete in phase distance, why would I have that as a light transport?
Oh well, of course that's true.
Because I only need the light transport to go 20, 30 feet.
It's true. No, you're right. And you still need a dead, even if you get the phase light.
I got plenty of dead ones.
You know what I mean. I got plenty of dead ones.
I got plenty of dead ones.
I
got videos of dead ones.
Oh, that's right, you do. Yeah, it's just a pile.
Yeah, it was. It was a couple of years ago. Yeah, that's what it was.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
Still got those in a pile somewhere.
Can't bring yourself to destroy them quite yet because of what they are, right?
Yeah, because I need them. I need them.
Yeah, I
That's
hear you.
that's gonna be a video at some point.
So you don't
It's
want.
just
Well, okay, wait.
we got to move and get a bigger place before we.
So what are you expecting out of? Okay, wait. You don't want Raptor to do that?
What do you mean?
Well, you're
I
talking to
wanted
like a
I wanted
medium.
Raptor to be medium range. I
Right.
figured with the size that it was and the light and how light it was, I figured it was gonna have to. It was probably gonna go medium range, but it was still went. It wasn't like close, so it wasn't like a Swallow or a Phantom Lightning or any of those.
Right.
So it was like the next one out. But it still to me is too short. See, yeah, look at that. That one probably goes like 4 or 5 football fields.
This is a well, yeah. This is a 6, but this is sixes don't go as well yet. I've got to work on them. See if I can get them out there.
Pick those stinking things up.
I can't. The plane likes it when they're pretty much in level with the. I can only get them a little bit off the plane. They can only be slightly down. That's where the plane seems to like it the most.
Ain't nobody got time for that. So you got 2 sets back there. So put.
No, I can't do that. If I go up and down, then it becomes an X plane. Then it just flies. I need the sound bite. Because it really does. If you put one, if I put one set up and one set down, even if I put one straight up, no, I'm gonna have a that right. Yeah, the X plane there. No, that will fly almost perfectly straight. I won't get any glide out of that. They have to be either somewhat of an up incidence or somewhat of a down incidence.
So what if you can't cut one of them off?
I, hmm, I could foreseeably. In this one's case, I almost have to because they've like every once in a while, as you can see, they're kind of separating. So in flight, of course, they would do that and probably just flap uselessly. Um, so yeah, I'd probably cut a set off, especially in this one. This one's different, so I mean, if I decide to cut them, no harm, no foul. I probably should. There we go. It's about damn time. I mean, like, yeah, this is a prime candidate for getting those cut. If I'd have left them straight, like some Phase VIs start out as, I could fold them because that's what does happen with some of these. But this one is different, and this one is leading into what I was going to talk about, how the Phase VIII was going to look, because this one is
And
a start of the ZWF or 0WF, as you will, the 08 fuselage. The wing pocket folds that you see are present there don't go down into the fuselage. They only start right here at the top of the wing.
so what did you cut them out?
No, it's just the fold starts there. It doesn't start deep in, because if you can see this, like the nose, the point of the nose, it's really, here's your standard phase. Yes, this one probably does go a couple football fields. And then here's the new one. And see that nose?
Yep.
It's a lot stubbier. The first triangular folds that you fold when you get the wings there, those are into the inside. But the second ones that create the actual wings are not. So there's less weight in the fuselage because of it was one of the theories I had about increasing the range, because again, if you've got more weight, the weight is actually on the wing area where the wind is pushing up, where it can be fought by the wind. You should have, in theory, just that much better glidability. Because it's not like these planes have thrust. All they're fighting is gravity. So,
Right.
and that's basically where that goes. That's basically like any kind of weight you can trim out before you make it, totally light and unflyable. This is what you're trying to fight. So, I figure that's the next step. And I figure the Phase VIII is going to be something similar to that. It's going to end up, I don't know if it's going to be truly zero weight fuselage, or I'm going to borrow something from that new spider-like design we had, or what. I mean, I just know it's going to be, that's the next step. The 7 is the W that 8's going to be. I'm not going to do what I said I was going to do, where the 8 and the 7, well, in this case, the 8 was going to be the aerial demonstration team. I figured that one's just going to be like, well, that'll just be 6 planes. It'll be a 3, a 4, a 5, whatever, and blah. They just all have to fly the same. That's crucial.
You are nuts.
And this one's kind of ugly. This one's not like phases usually end up pretty sleek with a, what is that, about a half-inch fuselage height. This one's a little bit deeper than that. This one's almost a 3/4 of an inch. So this was a lot more than they usually. That's like getting back into Phase I territory. This one has not been flown outside yet. I'd have to test this and see.
But the blue one,
The blue one has definitely been outside more than once. Most of the time it had it with the canards that were out with a toothpick on there holding them down. That has been taken off. I haven't flown this one out since the canards have been taken away. So that'll be a plus. That'll be something different. This is the one that had that hole I was illustrating in the middle there and everything.
and where do you hold it?
Just ahead of the hole. The hole is in the center. The hole is about center of the body, but it's not at the center of gravity. The center of gravity is like immediately in front of it, so I'd grasp it right there.
And then that lets air through.
Yes, it does. It passes. Let's see if I can get it. It passes all the way through. I have cut flaps into there, so the flaps can be opened up, and it passes straight into the. The lights over here. Get the flaps open up there, and passes straight into the fin, so the fin can eject it out the back, kind of like an engine. I put too much technology on this thing, though. I put the split anhedral tips on there, and that's like kind of like really what I have to do that. Although it works, like gangbusters, but still.
Yeah, you don't know which one's improving it the most.
Right? Yeah, it's hard to tell. I mean, that's why when you get a technology demonstrator, you want to like throw everything on there, but you can't because you don't know. You won't be able to tell afterwards. It's like, well, this thing flew awesome, but why did it fly awesome? This is why it's better to build, like you were, build 6 instead of build 3, and put like 5 different things on 3 of them. No. Build 6 and put only one thing on there, so you can tell which ones they like better.
Yeah, that's kind of the way I've been going. I'll build, 3, 4, or 5, depending on how many I'm, in the mood to build. But I'll only do one thing different to each of them.
Except Raptor. Yeah.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Both of these were different.
Right. Oh, well, yeah.
I made that cut in the back different for both of them. That's why number 2 flew and number 1 didn't. Because it has got a bigger fin in the back.
But you've only got 2 so far still, right?
Yeah, I've only got these 2.
Okay.
I still don't officially have it active or anything. So I don't have a letter for it.
And you don't really know what it's going to do quite yet, right?
Right. Well, yeah, that's why I want to kind of still play with it and put more technology on it and everything else.
You're going to start out with something that flies kind of short range, and then you're going to end up with something long range, just like I do, because you get it to its maximum potential, and you're like, oh, damn it, now this plane's too good.
Right.
Now I can't have an attacker out of it. Now it's got to be a strike plane. What the hell?
And see, you still need to go back and kind of play with Ninja.
Right.
Firecat. Diablo. Spider.
The list goes on and on.
Viper and Vortex. What else? Oh, Swallow.
Well, Vortex, you got it like V2, so yeah, you're trying to get it a little bit further along.
Thunderbolt.
I have taken this as far as it can go.
What else I got? What else I got?
Well, were you going to try rebuilding Black Knight and Squire?
You hush your mouth on that.
You said you could. You said you thought you could.
I ain't got no pictures, okay?
I know, but we were thinking you thought with the idea you possibly could do it.
Yeah, well.
Again, you said because I had told you it had something like these things on there, and you said I might remember how to do that then.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Are you saying?
I'm saying.
Well, I don't know. What are you saying? Are they going to be dead, or are they going to be like something different when they come out?
Well, they're probably dead like the rest of them.
Twister. What about Twister?
Oh, yeah, that one's gone. I mean, I won't say gone because I have it. I rebuilt it. But, I mean, like this one. Like, this is a new one.
I graduated high school 19 years ago.
Look, Delta Diamonds again.
Right, but the weight on this one is, like, amazing. Like, there's almost no weight to this one at all.
Oh.
Like, it's not... It's like super thin, and I put 2 staples in the nose.
I saw that. I was just going to ask that. Is that 1 or 2? I couldn't.
It's 2.
I saw them, but I couldn't tell. Oh, that's right. There's 1 in there.
I slid it, but I didn't step on it. It doesn't fight for shit.
It's under the fan.
I don't give a fuck.
Oh my God!
What? So it can only fly in good
It
weather?
flew all the way down there. We saw that. You saw it. It parked. It did a good job.
No, I flew. Suck.
Well, I'm hearing.
Downdraft people. It's not a good plane.
Listen to me, woman. Look, see, he wants some of that. You see that? Man, it flew right around her, dude. It went to her, banked right, then it banked left.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you.
The granite nosedive. There.
See? So at least she's right here.
See it?
Yeah, because the camera's right there. So,
Let's see.
it flew straight across.
Here.
She said, "Here, let me show you." Do it right there.
Yeah, see, yeah. Landed right on the runway.
There you go.
There you go.
Like, yeah, it flies. Look.
It flies. Park's great. Yeah.
See, I really want to get out there and start messing with this one. This one's a tiny little guy, but it's super heavy. And I cut out a lot of that weight.
Oh, yeah, I see that. It's like your whole point of nose is gone, even though you bend it back.
Yeah, like this is super heavy.
Well, how big is it?
It is 1, 2, 3, 4.5 inches long.
Oh, really? Oh, so it's not.
Yep, 4.5.
Holy cow, that's small.
Yep, 4.5. And it's, if you go with it naturally laying, it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 inches wide naturally, with the way it naturally lays.
So 4.5 by 6?
Yep.
That's a nice little square then. Okay, so that's kind of blown. It's smaller than that thing. These diamond planes, any of my kites here, this thing's almost a perfect 6.5 by 6.5.
Yeah.
I think the diamonds are a little bit bigger than that.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
This thing is tiny. See, if you hold it, closed, then it's even smaller.
Right, but again,
But
like you said, it's not gonna fly that way.
It's not gonna fly that way. That's why I give it the natural. And the reason why is because this nose is pushing all this open because it's so thick.
So have you thought, is that where you want to keep it, or you thought about trimming more weight off of it?
I'm thinking I might have to trim more weight off of it. I think this might be the only one that I have. Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, people, that's the whole thing is you're building these, you build an experimental fleet. You definitely should build a fleet just so you could work new technologies onto them
Yeah.
and test them out. I
Yeah.
mean, like he's got this one, but it was a fresh build. You didn't know what you were going to do with it anyway.
Yeah.
So
So now that I have it, I need to work on it. These two I built earlier in the year. I need to work on these. I don't know what they are.
oh, I see that. Yeah. Is that like a wing pocket reversed up there on the top?
Yeah. Yep.
And that doesn't act like a giant speed brake?
No. I mean, it flies pretty good
Okay.
because the weight is pretty counterbalanced. Because I have it folded again inside there.
Oh, okay, okay. I see that.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, I've got some pretty intricate folds in there. And see, this is the bottom.
Holy cow. Yeah, all right. I see that. Quite a few folds, all right.
Yeah. See, I'm not in the basic mode anymore.
But that has that gone outside yet?
No, none of these have.
Oh,
None
damn.
of these have. So
You need to.
these are going
You
to be
need.
really true, like replicas of. Oh, they design a plane, they build a plane, and then it doesn't fly for like 6 months to a year. You know, because they're still
You,
designing and testing and everything else.
you need to hold an exercise so you can get all these outdoors.
Well, you know.
Well, I
Here
mean,
you
if
are
you
again, telling people to exercise.
got a bunch there to fly, right? So you know what's the best way? What's the best way to do it?
Yeah. And then I got my. I need to. I need to see. The problem is I need to do it one plane, one design at a time. That's what I was looking for. I need to just take.
One plane design at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That way
Like
I can take it out and I can focus on it.
like exercise throw and exercise scream for me, or take out javelins and banshees and such like that, right?
Yep. Yep.
That'd be cool. You need to get, yeah, you do need to, yeah, okay. Well, I mean, it depends on how many you have, too. I mean, if you've only got like 3 birds, well, I mean, if you take out 4 others of another kind, that wouldn't be so bad.
Right. But like when I took out Raptor, I only took out the two.
Yeah.
You know, I was out there long enough to get some flights and see what they could do, and then that was it. That's the whole purpose of it. So then now you can bring it back in and you can go testing, and then you can move on to the next part of it.
Right. Right. Did you like you overall like the flights then? Did you see room for improvement on the one that wasn't as good? I mean, do you know what you could do to like make it better? Or
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Like based on the fact that I think the you know these need to be bigger
yeah.
in the back. Like I have some ideas. Plus, I'm thinking about putting anhedrals or something along this edge here. Just
Okay.
something enough to kind of stabilize it because it likes to rock.
Yeah, yeah, I can imagine. Most of
So
the ones that are like that definitely would.
so
Um,
something on there. Even if I don't fold it in, if I just tape it on or something.
I would hope that you can actually get it more stable without having to do that. But I mean, if you do, of course, you do. It just
Right. I
it's
mean,
like it'd be really
I've even
cool
thought about
because
folding these down.
I know, but they look so much better up, don't they?
Yeah, they do look cool up. I want them up.
Well, again, if they start getting bigger, I think probably. I don't know exactly how big. You're just going to have to step up the sizes incrementally until you find like the best
Yeah.
option before getting too big,
Yeah.
before the holes get too big. So
And then I still got to figure out Firecat and all that stuff.
yeah, you do. Yeah.
All right, give me a few minutes. I'll be back.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, you can do what you got to do.
Do what I gotta do. All right. He's going to take a commercial break. Oh wait. Oh, not yet. All right. Well, I was thinking, So what I was discussing though was like the Phase VIII as I was gonna take it forward. Um, that zero weight just has to do with again like your traditional planes. Uh, most people, well, I don't know, some people maybe would fold. You know, your fuselage, your standard folds always go in towards your keel, the center of your fuselage. I'm stopping that by putting them here. And the 8 is probably going to even reduce that even more. It seems to not be a subtle change, not so much. Obviously, the wing sweep is, well, by degrees, but not very many. I would say only three to 5 degree difference. The wing sweep is obviously affected, and the chord is different because there's a little bit less wing area since you're dealing with a lot more length and not so much width. Um, this one could be hidden by this one almost entirely. You can barely see it back there except for the tails. Uh, the broad width of the wing to fight the length is obviously what keeps these stable. So you kind of expect this thing to rock better, but it's obvious with sixes though, which is the basis of the design. The sixes, this seems to help stabilize it, and that being the case, I could probably get away with it on sixes much more than I could on an average 3. I'll probably try it on both before I see. I just know that that's where it's going to end up going. So, um, other ideas. I mean, you have other ideas that you could do with certain planes like that. I don't know if an 8 is going to be longer because that's where that's turning out. I mean, already we're talking about a length. I mean, when you deal with sixes, even sixes are longer just because there's less cut off of them, but not by much. I mean, that's only like here's a 3 with a great many advances on it at 8 inches in length. This is a 6. It's at 8.5. Of course, those inches make a lot of difference in these. So, because again, it translates out to the width of the feet. I mean, not including the anhedrals, and just naturally lying, this is only a 3 1/4, whereas this one, okay, being made a liar of. It's almost about 3 1/4 itself. It's close to 3.5 though. It's definitely at 3.5. I'd say 3 3/8. It really is. It's a delicate balance of exactly how you're playing with your wing chord. And you all know, like, obviously, the shorter the fuselage, the wider the wing, the more stunty you're going to get because your ratio is just off. So the glider is going to be longer. But before it gets too long, you can't, you traditionally can't make a glider out of something that's like this long, this thin. Like if it was 8 inches, but only 3 inches wide. Okay, that's a bad example. That's what this is. Okay, 10 inches and 3 inches wide. You're starting to approach missile slash rocket. Um, but you can get glideability out of them depending on how you do it. Like you could take out some nose, you could take out some weight, and there is a lot of wing area on something that's long. I'd like to see people's like ideas of some of those. Like if there's any aircraft you got out there do happen to be that fight the traditions. Like it's really hard to make non-stunters when you make the wings wider than the fuselage. Really hard. It can be done, but it's hard. Um, just like it's really hard to do the inverse if it's a really long plane with really narrow wings. That's basically your interceptor because basically it's going to be a dart. So, I mean, if you guys got anything out there that's a little bit hybridized or you found something different, I'd kind of like to see those. So, whatever you got, um, I'd like to work with that. It gives ideas for playing around with them. I mean, I never expected a plane like the Amount here to be as glidable as it is, and yet these do glide really good. Granted, I've given them those wing curves that they have. They There's no anhedrals, but the wings do curve. And this one is, of course, again hybrid because it's got like some hybridized slats that aim down. But
Yeah.
they, again, glide. It's still It's not exactly a stunter. There's definitely a balance of weight down the length, and it's the same width, but it glides. Okay, if I all I had to do was fold the nose up, this would be a stunt plane. It seems a lot easier to build a stunt plane than it is to build a glider.
Correcto mundo.
But anyway, yeah, no, I
Oh,
guess like I said, if you guys got ideas out there, if you've seen like a different example of that, please drop us something, show us, because I'd like to see if we can integrate that.
this is that. Oh, this is this plane. I don't even know what I was building.
But that is not this.
This is. This is. Yeah, this is that. Something not. Yeah, I don't even know what I was building.
And then there's these again.
Oh, this is that stinking spider.
Yeah, that's what this is. Yeah, this is that spider-like bird. Flew kind
No,
of
I'm
good. I
talking
need to
about
build a couple
mine.
more of
I
these.
was like, what is
Oh,
this? Oh, this is that stinking spider. That thing, kind of like that thing right there.
yeah. This is that one with
Yeah, with
the
the
weird
yeah.
nose.
See,
Yeah.
we all of a sudden just knew.
We all of a sudden just knew.
See his face. See his face. He's reacting. He's like, meh. This plane
Yeah.
sucks.
Those are interesting. Like, okay, apparently Mark hasn't gotten those to fly as good as he would like them to. But then again, you haven't built the exact one I have. You just try to do it with a spider, and apparently Spider does not like that. Or
Correct.
or you haven't found out a way to make it work on Spider yet.
Correct. Um, it could just be that it doesn't like. Spider doesn't like that.
Having most of its nose cut off. Yeah, I mean, perfectly understandable. I mean, dude, that's a lot of nose weight to lose. So,
Yeah,
and I
but
see why. Like I said, I took that one that I built here, that fighter bomber, the V3 that I've got now, because I built it out of the Chinese mint or the Coffee News rather.
yeah,
Yeah, that thing flies pretty good. It rocks, but it flies pretty good.
but it's always been like that though. The plane has always rocked like that.
Well, yeah, but you see why. It makes a Y. It's like the wings don't stay flat in the
Yeah,
anhedrals don't stay
they
down.
don't.
So
They
yeah,
end up like this.
right. And that's exactly why it doesn't. I mean, if you could, you may be able to like. I guess if you could hold the wings down, you'd get better out of it. Um, it would almost require a stick, or if you could add strakes to it, because you need something along the. Oh, dude, wait a minute! You just give me an idea. Well, if you have wings that make a Y, and I'll bring it because I've got it right here.
It's
You
the
have
stress
wings.
though from the folds.
True, but your trihedrals, remember your trihedrals, they gave me the idea. Like, you could bihedral these. Um, well, I don't know if that would actually work because then it would stabilize. It doesn't glide it out. You really just need something to fight the Y shape, which means you basically
I need
just
something
need something.
to cut the stress out of it.
No, 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 no. I wouldn't do that. I mean, because the plane obviously likes it to a degree. It just doesn't. It just rocks. This is a perfect example of being able to add something on to fix its problems. Because the design is inherently good. It's just a rocking. I mean, it still gets good flights. It just rocks while it does it. So if you wanted to add stability, you just need a little extra something on it. And again, I'm thinking like if you were to right here in the winglets, like obviously it's dual papered, right? If you were to split these, not like the trihedrals where you actually did it all the way from the root to the tip, but if you just, it would be like it's basically the split anhedral tips I talk about, the SATs. If you just took them down maybe a third of the way, and then you folded that in, and you didn't even have to fold it. You could fold them straight down to where they're reflecting the plane straight down, because these cock out, put it down this way. That would probably improve it a great deal. That might eliminate the rocking, but you're not adding so much down anhedral that you're going to make it like just flash straight, destroy the gliding it has. You know what I mean?
Yep, yep. I know what you're saying.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to avoid.
I know what you're saying.
I mean, I'm tempted to do it this one. It's just I like the way it flew. I'm kind of scared if I do that,
Well, do it and let me know.
I mean, I guess it couldn't hurt anything. This thing's made out of the Coffee News, and it's the fighter bomber.
So
Your fighter
here's
bombers
what
are
you
going to
could
make.
do. Here's what you could do. You could fly it indoors and see how it does, and see if it rocks, and then fly it after you do the cut, and then see how it rocks. Or you could just cut it.
Well, I knew. I mean, I've flown this one indoors and outdoors already, and like I said, it. Yeah, I mean, I know the levels, so. I mean, why the hell not? The beauty of you upsizing this one is, of course, is now that you've got a bigger version, it's a lot easier to play with add-ons because it's bigger. You can make them on a bigger scale, and if you make it out of a heavier duty paper, it won't harm it so much. Like if I had to retape these on, putting a little piece of tape to put these back on board won't harm this thing that much.
Yep. Yep.
So yeah, I will do this. About a third of the way is what I said. So. And again, just like always, it would be nice to keep it symmetrical, so probably be a good idea to keep track of how long you make the cut. I made it. Oh, look at that. I made it just about the length of the blade. Means this one's not long enough yet. Okay, here we go. And I know Mark's going to watch this intently because, of course, this is his design I'm playing with.
I'm just looking. I'm just watching.
You obviously like it. You know, I mean, this is a good plane. Spider's a good plane.
Yeah. It's probably one of my better ones. And it's so simple, too. That's the thing. It's so simple.
You find sometimes that your simple ones, oh my god, that's right. That's already double papered. You find sometimes that your simple ones are the easier ones to play with.
So you cut through both pieces of paper, right?
Yeah.
And
I'm not gonna cut the backs yet. Because if I cut the backs, that means there's a potential for this thing to turn into like, an X again. And you don't need an X right now because any X in this thing would probably destroy the glideability and turn it into a straight flyer. So I can keep it like this. Something simple, something small. Now this is built in, and I was thinking still along the terms of you could add on to this thing. Especially because something like this one where you have the weight of the Coffee News, adding on weight when it glides as good as it does won't harm it that much. There you go. Something simple. See them there?
Yeah.
And they're angled about where I was talking about. They're a little bit in, but something like that is probably just enough. I know it's dark, but here, wait, I can improve that situation. They're just inside. I think that would include it because that's basically where it's rocking from. So anything right there would help. When I was thinking of adding on, that's where I would tell you to add it on would be either the inside of the anhedrals or at least to the outer part of the wings. Because I'm thinking if you were to put, even if those strakes like you got on Raptor right there,
Yep.
the fins, if you were to put them on the underside of this thing, just carve a little ones inside there, fold them in, because they're still covered by the Delta Diamond, so there wouldn't be a hole. That would probably eliminate the rocking, I bet.
Don't even mess with me.
That would probably eliminate the rocking entirely, because that's where all the stability comes from, and you wouldn't lose anything to the hole because the Delta Diamonds are protected there.
So throw that thing and see what it does.
Okay. Stand by. I'm gonna have to cut the light on so I can tell what it does. Hold on, people. I'm still here. I won't be able to hear you. Okay. This one's going across the living room here. Holy cow! Wow. Alright.
Apparently he liked that better than he liked the other one. Let's see. I still feel like it flies.
Apparently it still rocks.
But what do you mean?
It's hard to tell because this one's flight is so fast because it's so heavy. But yeah, it still rocks. But it's stable on takeoff. I'd have to see it in glide stage, which means I'd have to throw it far. Maybe those aren't enough.
Yeah, so maybe there's not enough there to make a difference.
Not yet. No, I don't think so. I think you'd have to make them bigger than that. Which is entirely doable. Or I'd have to fold them down even more than they are.
I wonder if I did that to this, if I cut the back on that one.
Sure. I mean, yeah, why not?
Because
I would think.
too much technology on this thing is just...
Well, you'll have to build a different one then.
Yeah, apparently.
Well, that wasn't so bad at all. Okay, that one made it all the way to the door. It still did rock, but that actually didn't rock as bad. All I did was adjust those flaps so they're actually at 90 degrees to the anhedrals themselves. Hold on, let me get it. Show you what I'm talking about when you see it. Here you go, kid. You step in. Kitten's checking you out. Okay. And see, it makes a solid thud when it lands. Coffee news, buddy. So, yeah, now they're actually more inside there.
Oh,
They're
okay.
like straight in. Again, it still rocks. I'd like to take it outside because that way I could adjust them on the fly. Take 2 flights, with them like straight, angle them off, see what they can do. I'm thinking you probably need something bigger than that. But again, little bitty strakes on the underside. Well, actually, not even little bitty, but if they were like longer, just like the size of the ones Raptors got there, on the underside there, boy, you could have something with that. That might be what the doctor ordered. This is where you can go on future spiders. This is definitely what you should be looking at.
Yeah, what size paper is that?
Well, remember we measured this, and I said like Coffee News is the exact same size as Chinese menu.
Yes, but what size is Chinese menu?
Oh, good God. I don't even make me measure one of these again. Stand by, I'll tell you. Let me bust out the Asian chef. Let's see. We got the paper here, and the paper is, holy cow, it's real big. That is 17 inches by 11 inches.
Oh, so it's a 17 by 11.
Yes. Which actually, if you go to your local office supply store, that is a standard sheet of paper. It's a bigger sheet, but I don't know what they call it, but it is a standard paper, and you can get reams of this stuff. It's just if you can go to a Chinese place and grab free menus, why would you bother?
Yep.
Now, if you have a Coffee News local, it's a little heavier stock than a Chinese menu, so you'll probably be accomplishing a little bit more. But
see, it's so crazy that's. I mean, I need to.
Get some Chinese menu.
I don't even know if places have any of those. Like, where are you gonna find like those manuals anymore?
What, like Dodge?
Everybody's digital now.
Well, I don't know about you, friend, but like, dude, I go like. Well, it's too bad you weren't here before. Like, when we were moving out of the old building, we moved into a new building at the job, and actually, the salespeople, because we were in a warehouse with salespeople. Salespeople would throw out binders of their sales flyers all the time. So, like, I mean, literally, just like, oh, here, old stuff, 3-inch binders filled with paper, just like that. They just chucked them. I mean, because make that crap all the time. What do they do with them? I don't know, but. Yeah, you could bet I took some of them. I mean, that's why these papers are, these right here, that's what these are from. Something like that. That's what what was that one? Oh, the one that I was showing you at the beginning of the show here that you saw. Yeah, that's what it's made out of right there. You knew that. I said it was Dodge paper, but yeah, it's basically the same, some wire stuff that they were throwing out, and I'm like, ooh, I'm taking that. I mean, I still think it's a little different than the Dodge paper. This actually seems like, I don't understand why you can get bonds that are really only like seriously microns in difference, but they are. And I don't think this is actually as thick as the Dodge paper. It's close, but I think it's a little bit thinner. Maybe it's just because we haven't built whatever we built out of the Dodge paper before that made us throw it into the trees.
Yeah.
And the roof.
Yeah, I'm trying to
So you're saying you don't have anything like that right now?
No, I don't have any of that kind of paper.
I could send you some.
I got. Yeah, I don't have any of that paper.
Here's one of the ways you can do it. Also, here's one of the ways you can do it. Do you get those advertising flyers from time to time, like weekly coupons and stuff, in the mail or anywhere, like around a business around or something like that? Typically, they come in the mail.
Yeah, on occasion.
Or the Sunday paper.
Yeah.
You grab the Sunday paper. 1 or 2 or 5 of the sales flyers in there are going to be notebook sheets made out of something high gloss and thicker than the average piece of paper. It's always nice to grab a hold of those. That's where I've got some of mine from as well. Because there's almost always a law office or some new, like, clean your gutters out or whatever that's going to offer, pictures and stuff, and it's on that kind of paper. So, yeah, you could grab some from that way. I mean, it may take you a long time unless you plan on robbing, people's 20 issues Sunday papers, but still, you might be able to find them in a Wednesday paper.
Yeah.
At least it's a start. I mean, it's not true Dodge paper, but it is thicker, and it's a gloss. In the meantime, you need to get yourself some damn Chinese menus.
I know.
Do you have calendars?
No. No,
Dude,
I ran out of that.
Are you bloody kidding me? You don't even have calendars?
No, but I can get those easier.
That's true. Calendars are a lot easier to acquire. Although I'm sure going to your local... See, then there's these sheets, which are calendar paper. Look at that. Look at that calendar paper. Nice. Hear that? Nice thick stuff from July 2012.
Yeah, right.
And this is... Yeah, this makes the Chinese menu look like a joke. Never really measured these either. I don't know. I mean, I think we did it before. That's a 16 by... It's off the scale. Oh, 16 by 19. I can send you some of that if you want. But you said you can get...
Yeah, I can get that.
You can get that.
That's easy. I can get that. Just because they have them all over the hospital.
Well, see, the thing is, though, I think, again, okay, it's an expensive way to do it, but office supply stores do have almost every kind of paper because that's where people print this crap out. So, like the Roundels. Again, I can use this for some little self-plugging, but, the Roundels. I know it was kind of cheating and everything like that, but so I went in there and they gave me the test sheet, right? The test sheet is on, lo and behold, that it's a high gloss paper. So this is already a heavier stock than regular worksheets, and obviously different than the Avery stickers. But while I was there, you look at the sales flyer and you hear that? See that? It's glossy. I picked out one of those because I was like, I bet that would make it plain. That's what I'm saying. Those things are everywhere. You just go grab you some from someplace, and boom, you're good. Just need to be on the lookout, I think. I'm surprised you don't have more in the hospital.
I'll have to look. I'll have to look at those.
I mean, alternatively, also, you can think of, obviously, the Chinese menu like I got here, right? Obviously, it started out as, the little folded thing. You do have brochures in the hospital, I know, because every hospital's got brochures, like living with cancer and stuff. Well, grab the brochures. You unfold them, they're going to become about a regular sheet of paper, and I guarantee you they're going to be glossy, unless it's a cheap-ass library-style brochures, which are just paper folded. But usually the deluxe ones are regular-size sheets, A4 sheets, and they're usually high gloss.
Yeah.
Thicker cardstock. Grab some of those. So what if somebody forgets how to breathe? Who cares?
Right.
Living with cancer. You don't need that. Abortions are us. Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
I'm just telling people all kinds of interesting and free ways to appropriate their way to surplus paper. But there are plenty of ways. I mean, sometimes when you work for the government, you get free pens. You get free ledger books. So,
Free pens.
Free pens. And the ledger books are a godsend.
We do get the books.
Everybody should have themselves a nice. What are those things? Like almost wool bound, cloth bound binders. You know.
Yeah, I don't know what they are.
Yeah, that's like crazy stuff, but they're so good. They're so good.
And everybody should also have. Right.
Oh yeah, the all-weather notebook. Yeah, that's nice. If you go outside, highly recommended you have something. Well, I mean, even if your planes can't make it through the rain, at least the notebook can. So you can write about, well, that plane was awesome. Now it started raining. Nice, Dad. I bet you won't throw that thing in a lake, though.
What's that?
I bet you won't throw it in a lake.
No.
It may be all weather, but
It ain't all purpose.
I wouldn't submerge it.
Yeah, this paper still feels like paper.
Which means it's still writable. Holy cow. Holy cow.
I'm trying to see if I have anything.
Anything resembling thick paper at all?
Yeah, like different size.
Right? I mean, here's these. So I do my construction on the weekends or something like that, and we got these flyers here from a screw pile system that they have. Look at this thing. This is probably Dodge paper. This is really thick. This is thicker than the other ones I've got here. This makes this feel like a regular sheet of paper. If I were to fold this even twice, I would already start to run into problems.
That is definitely closer to Dodge paper then.
Oh yeah. And then of course I got a brochure, so look, I've got a bigger sheet in case I want to use it.
Where did you get those?
Well, these, like I said, this was on our construction. This is for a dude we're working with that does piers for decks. And he gave us flyers, and like, look at that. It is the same size as Chinese menu, only a slew ton thicker. This would probably be at your local construction, like if you got a home builder or something like that, or a lumber yard, probably have these on hand. There you go. There's another good example. Go to a lumber yard. Go to any construction place. I'm not talking about Lowe's. I'm talking about your local, house builder or something like that. Probably have something like this on hand. Anything like this on hand. There's all kinds of places to get flyers. You can go to Zales or Jared or whatever diamond jewelry store and probably get yourself some jewelry and get yourself some paper that's jeweled. Actually, no, you can't do that. But
No.
What I mean is they'll have flyers. So you have options. Definitely have options. Just gotta look around a little bit. Like I said, I mean, if you make it to your local office supply store, this is where this came from. It was just sitting out there, a stack of them. They're lucky I didn't take 20. Except I already have a ton. I don't need any more. I've got a box underneath this desk with nothing but buildable paper, as I call it. It is the size of where you carry your copy paper for a copy machine. It's just full.
Yeah.
I can't even begin to tell you what's in there, but yeah, construction paper, everything and anything. So yeah, go find you some flyers, man. And we can come out. Oh, all of you out there, go find some flyers. Get you some cheap cardstock. The only thing I splurged on was 2 pieces of paper from the hobby store that were colored. You can get the colored paper with a design on it.
Yep.
I got one the color of grass, and I got one the color of sky. I'm kind of scared to turn those into planes because if the one the color of grass lands into grass, I will probably lose it because it really does look like grass. It really looks like grass. You've seen it, I think.
I think so. I mean, I have this one.
The hot pinks, obviously. I save a lot of the colored ones because I like the higher colored ones for the interceptors.
Right. And then I also, give me a second, I have this one over here too.
I don't know why, but the planes have to be just so. You may have noticed that. He's looking. I don't know if I've got the piece of paper that looks like a blade of grass handy, or else I'd show you guys. But needless to say, you go to your local hobby shop, and I don't mean like a hobby shop with your big chains. They have them.
So I have yellow.
Oh yeah.
And then I have the pink. Then I also have
What is light green?
yeah, that is green.
I believe they call that sage, right?
Yep. Yes, yeah. Yeah, it's close.
See, I have these here. I don't know. Can you tell?
Oh.
You actually have clouds on them. Yeah. Yeah, those are almost specifically for that. But again, kind of scary because, I mean, that's some pretty good camouflage right there.
Yeah, just like your clear ones.
Yeah, exactly. Clear's worse. Clear, if you don't watch, you'll lose them. And that was what we were talking about. We're going to save that for another show. We're going to talk camouflage another show because it's something we don't often do, and we're kind of leading into it here when we're talking about our interceptors being these bright colors like he's got there. Obviously, I did a phase in those colors, so it's not exclusive to interceptors, but I almost kind of feel the interceptors should be bright colors because they're fully, defensive weapons. Or offensive if you're using to shoot planes down, but still, I mean, Who cares if you can see them? They're a flash. They're coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
it wasn't that fun.
Did I do that for that one? I think I did.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Ah.
So yeah, you got.
Oh, this one might have been yours. What letter is javelin?
J.
Oh yeah, then there you go.
Oh, is that the one you built?
Yeah, this is the one I built.
Yeah, one of the ones you built because you built like 2 or 3, right? That night we did that.
I think so, maybe. But that one's
because that's not a V5R. No. I can tell by looking at it. So, and you did build the V5R.
Uh-oh, I need to find out. Uh-oh, I don't even know if this one might be on a video, but look at that one.
What the heck? Whoa! What have we got there? Is that taped at the front there?
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh yeah, here's Thunderbolt. So here's Thunderbolt in the green. See, this is 416.
Oh yeah, that looks nice and sage. Okay, yeah. 416?
Yeah.
Oh, props on you. Got it up to 4, huh?
Yeah. And this is...
Proud of you. You do have some flyable ones. Yeah.
Wait a minute. Did we build this one together? Did we build that together? Is that what that code is?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah, it looks like, yes, it is.
That's what I thought.
That looks like one of ours. That's a calendar sheet too, isn't it?
No.
No? What is it made out of? It looks like calendar.
No, that's notebook.
Oh. Well, it's very colorful.
Yeah, it was definitely some presentation thing that I had. That was
NS14. When was that built? March of this year or May of this year?
March. Oh yeah, here's 417. So
Wait, whoa! Dude! You've done it. You did build a big one.
yeah, that was 417. That was back in March.
Okay.
Yeah. So
The
see, I said I had a
transport.
few.
You gotta tell me about that one, dude. Because I mean, I didn't forget. I remember you said you were gonna build that thing, and the idea was sound. It's just like, so if you're gonna do that, if that's gonna be like, your big plane is gonna be your bomber, your transport, are you gonna change its name, or is it just gonna be Thunderbolt, and that's gonna be the one, or how are you gonna do it?
Yeah. Right. Didn't we? We were talking about that, weren't we?
Yeah,
Like the Super Bolt or something like that.
something like that. Yeah, yeah, because we had OAE's input because we said like it could be the Ultra Bolt or the Meta Bolt.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I don't know.
Well, that's the thing right there too. If you're going to do that, then I guess you really don't need to find Black Squire or Black Knight, do you?
No, I don't.
Well, okay, you don't need to find Black Squire. You do need to find Black Knight.
Or I could just build it even bigger. I could just
What
build.
size? What size sheet was that made of?
I don't. I don't. I think it was made out of legal sheet.
Really, legal sheet? And it was that big? Holy cow!
Was it legal sheet? It made it. It may have been out of that 17 by 11.
That looks more like it. I mean, it's big, dude.
I mean, it's. Tag nabbit. I hate having so many planes on the desk at one time. Yeah, it's 12 inches long.
Okay, so yeah, maybe it is then, right?
It's 12 inches long. So it would have to be made out of Chinese or bigger.
Right. Is it black though? There's no writing on it, hey?
Yeah, there's no writing on it.
So you just happen to have a 17 by 11 laying around you could do that with.
Yeah, I think I snatched it. I think I had it from work or something.
Lovely. Okay. You got to do a little bit more of that snatching. That's cool. I don't even think about that. So yeah, you gotta because okay, so Spider, well, V3 is the fighter bomber, but you already got Spider V4, which is bigger than that. So that being the medium, and then Thunderbolt being the upsize, yeah, who needs Black Squire and Black Knight? Actually,
yeah.
I suppose you really don't have to upsize it unless it depends on, again, and this is up to everybody's discretion as to how big you want your small, medium, and large to be.
Right.
Obviously, they're going to be bigger than your regular frontline combat planes, but
And I mean, I upsized Diablo too,
oh hell yeah!
but this one didn't turn out too well. Because this was also made out of,
Folder.
yeah, the folder. Yeah, I was trying to
Yeah.
think. I was like, yeah, what is that? But it keeps, this tape isn't holding. You see that? It's not holding.
It just comes apart. Just go ahead and throw a rivet in there, see if we can get it.
Yeah. Yeah, and so this doesn't hold either. So this doesn't hold too well. Because I tried to get that in there. That doesn't hold too well.
Well, it's made out of folder. You know, you could always glue it.
I could.
I mean, weight isn't going to be an issue. Putting glue in there Probably be your best bet. You could glue stick it or just regular white glue
Oh,
it. But I
I
think
do got some glue stick. I could glue stick it.
you could glue stick it. At least get, if you want to keep the wing pockets together. I think that'd probably be your
Oh,
best
I
bet.
do because it creates so much drag just being like that.
Right.
Which when you look at it this way, you can really see.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's like deploying speed brakes.
Yeah. Yeah, you got all this room, and then you got all this that needs to be down and then pushed out. It's
Glue,
just
and yeah, depending if you use the glue the proper way, usually it doesn't add that much weight anyway. As long as you smear it,
yep.
like don't glob it on there. You smear it, yeah, it won't add that much weight to begin with. So, I mean, you can't imagine it adds any more weight than tape does. Tape already shouldn't be adding much weight to begin with. It's freaking a piece of tape. Good God.
Right.
So yeah, sizes. Yeah, sizes all because I was hoping you had one. Like if you did that with Diablo, because Diablo would make a great light transport, and then Spider's a medium bomber. If Thunderbolt could be the medium transport, and then upsizing it even more to make the heavies, you'd be set. You'd have your whole lineup.
Right.
Unless, of course, you wanted to use something else to do it even and upsize something else. I don't know how far you want to go, but
Yeah, I don't know how far I'm planning on taking it.
basically, I think like how you were doing, you already got your fighter bomber and Spider, which is great. It's perfect for it. So just having an upsized Thunderbolt cover the heavies, and then if Diablo would be straight enough covering the light duty stuff, it'd be perfect.
Yep.
Calendar paper. You just need calendar paper. See how much bigger a Thunderbolt get.
No.
Well, that's the only other biggest size you can go. I mean, unless you can find something intermediary to make it smaller, to be the medium.
That would be insane.
Yeah, but I mean, it would fit, right?
Yeah, of course. It would work.
Because if you're using, like you said, that Thunderbolt, the big one you showed was Chinese menu, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the next step up would have to be calendar. I mean, you could go bigger up, of course, with the oversize, but there's really no need for that. But at least calendar is a standard. It's easier to acquire. Getting calendar paper and making it the biggest one you have, it's a nice standard without going too off the wall. Chinese menu, sure, but if you would have to find something smaller than a Chinese menu,
How do you
but
even
bigger
hang
than
those up?
A4 sheet. How do you hang those? Really very carefully. Personally, I just stick a nail inside one of their wings and hang it straightly on the wall. I don't know because actually my big ones so far have all laid flat just because their wings haven't been affected. Every fold on them and stuff is so large and magnified it hasn't done them much harm. Petrels and Cutlasses have been hung up, and Nimbus obviously gets hung up.
Yeah.
But that's the fighter bombers get hung up. So yeah, they're smaller. They don't matter so much, but it doesn't affect them as much. But the big ones don't seem to be harmed by simple store me in a box, simply because you can't store them in a box and transport them anyway.
So where do you store them?
Right now, they're in a drawer. It's the best place. I've got a hollowed out area, and they're in a drawer that was normally empty anyway. So now, how do I take them out to fly them? Now that's a very good question. I'm thinking of a suitcase. You might laugh, but I'm being serious. What else is going to hold those things?
What in the world am I gonna use?
That's your only thing. Is like if you're seriously considering Thunderbolt's going to be as big as it is with Chinese menu, then you're going to have something intermediate between your A4 and the Chinese menu to be the medium size. But alternatively, if it is the medium size, your calendar is a perfect upsize. Anything bigger than that, I think, is outlandish. But hey, keep it in mind. Remember, I used to build planes when I taped 4 sheets of notebook paper together. I taped them together physically, and then turned it into a plane.
But how do you even get them to fold like that without coming apart?
Oh, it's hard. It's hard. I remember the very first Phase 4. I'm sorry, Phase 1C. And I don't know why I did it this way. I really don't. But the Phase 1 cargo, that's how it was made. I had 4 notebook sheet of papers. I lined them up, and I just taped them in a cross. Then I started the folds. I mean, some of the first folds fell on the tape itself, so actually it wasn't that bad because the tape is a little bit more resilient. But yeah, it got a little complex. It did work. That plane works. It flew pretty good.
That's just nuts.
It is nuts, but I don't recommend it. It's best to use 1 sheet if you can. But think about it though. When you get to be a bigger size plane like that, it doesn't matter anymore. You know, you start adding weight, you start adding little nuances like that. It's like, I don't care. I'm getting bigger. You know, if you can build, like out of those easel board size, the display papers.
Yep.
I mean, that's nuts, and we've done that. But that, you need to add shit to that because those things are not going to stay together. That's so bloody weak.
All right, well, we're at an hour and a half so far.
Yeah,
So-
yeah, that's a little bit more. I apologize. We're kind of going over. But
We're gonna have to call that, and then we will pick it back up in a couple weeks because I will be out.
well, together, I'll throw a show out there. But yeah.
All right.
Yes, indeed, folks. We got our topics covered. It was good to get out with you again. Keep watching. Keep them flying.
Yeah, and just remember, if they don't fly, then you ain't building them right.